But my legs heavy, I don't get it. How come I haven't hit it already? Still working, I'm still learning, I'm still searching, finally earning something, finally turning something called a profit. If I hear you talking shit, don't get caught in it. I'll be popping off and hit your ass, dropping all your shit. Yeah, I promise this, I got promises. You ain't stopping this, cross my shit, you'll be knocked unconscious, bitch. That's the consequence, I got this, I will not quit. Man, I'm on it, honest, I'm gonna launch quick, then I'm gone. It's just a matter of time before I'm over the climb and moving under my prime. Just quit my 9 to 5, I'm rocking, and they watching, cause it's shocking. Dropping all these top 10 songs, no stopping. It's time to live my life, it's time to live, not die. Wish I could slow down time and just enjoy the climb.
What is up, people? So, here's the deal. It's how things work. You know how it works. I'm going to go on a little rant for a second. Just wanted to say, it boggles my mind. So, like I said, I've said 1,000 times, I completely believe the idea of flat Earth is a misunderstanding of it. But I have also said that I'm positive, and I pretty much can handpick them out. The ones that are very dishonest, and like I've said before, I would put it at like a 99% of flat earthers believe it's flat. No strings attached, no agendas. But there is that 1% that is making flat Earth look even more foolish. And here's the deal. I refuse to talk about the recent drama because it seems kind of ridiculous, and I mean, we all kind of already had that same opinion 5 years ago, right? So forget that. My issue I'm having is if I explain a basic science to somebody and understand, I fully admit I probably know the least about everything than a lot of people here. But I have an understanding of something and I'm explaining it and I understand it, then I know you have to understand it. There's no way around it. Last the last stream I had, Seek kind of put me in that I call the trigger mode. But like I said, I've grown since my decisions that I've made, and I'm not gonna. I refuse to be triggered by it. So what I'm trying to say is all this negative trash talking vibe crap, I call it the Reds rhetoric idea, that all these Glovers are doing now, I find it to be completely fucking ridiculous and utterly fucking pointless. To talk to any adult like a fucking 3-year-old, what do you expect to happen? Like I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to think in my brain. At what point in time, if this wasn't a computer situation, would you walk up to another grown man and talk to him the way I see some of these guys talking to people? If I saw half of these people talk to anybody that I know that are flat earthers, that I'm cool with, I'd fucking punch them myself. It's fucking ridiculous. Sure, still ain't gonna get nowhere. I don't care what you're trying to do. If you're trying to make someone look like a fool, just understand there's a whole group of us Glovers that are constantly saying how ridiculous and pointless it is. like I said, I got a lot of friends that are still flat earthers, and I personally feel that I want to explain why I did decide it was a globe, and in doing that, help you guys understand a little bit better about what's going on, because a lot of the information that I'm getting, and that I have this clear knowledge of, it's not even that it doesn't work or it could work in a certain situation. It's just a complete misguided observation. Like, I don't think the observation was made. And the only real way to solve this issue is to me, is to have this discussion. I know a lot of you guys get frustrated. Sasha, I see you out there. In about 5 minutes, I'll unmute the hangout. But you got to understand, like, a lot of you guys get really upset. I know I've gotten the comments saying, oh, you keep talking about this and this and this, and we've gone over that, or every time we have this conversation, he says this and this, and the realization you got to understand is, these, for instance, Seek and Find he's not a liar. I've had conversations with this man. He's not here to troll. But once you have a basic idea of what you believe it is, and your sources you don't trust, it makes it very difficult to want to even consider what you're saying they said, let alone forget what you believe. So what's happening is I can tell you this basic information, and that's happens all the time, and like I said, I mean, I was there. I know exactly what's happening. Well, you tell me gravity is a force, and guys, I understand. So I'm not speaking like I don't think it's there. Gravity is a force. Well, let me see it. Okay, you can't see gravity. We can only see the effects of gravity. So asking to see gravity is you're really trying to, I call it, trigger somebody. I mean, there's no other way. I mean, no one ever said we see gravity. We see the effects. That can't be impossible to you, because wind works the same way. And I know, guys, you guys have heard me say this, and here's the thing. Again, what I'm explaining is stuff that I understand. So for me, I have to say this shit 1,000 times for me to for it to sink in. As I learn more, I add more to this. But the real thing is there's a time to just go off the cuff and build, as I call it. Just see where the conversation goes. But when it's this right here, what I'm talking about, where I think it is the solution to this issue, whether it be these broken conversations of these dickhead globers or these dickhead flat earthers, it's just a basic dialogue. If you come here and you feel the need to trigger somebody, don't come on my panel. Eventually, at some point, I'm just going to get sick of it. I don't just kick people. I mean, I don't think anyone can say I've unfairly booted anybody. I only mute when need be, and then but other than that, it's just it's just got to stop. I mean, again, if we weren't sitting in front of these computers, I don't think any of these people would actually say something to their face. It doesn't work that way. But they still feel the need. One of the main things that it's really... Hang on one second. One second. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I had to go and get my door, my bad. But one of the main things I wanted to say on it is that, again, I've had 1,000 conversations where it's respectful and fine, and it doesn't have to get to this point where things get personal. At the same time, on a Glober's guy's defense, I mean, at some point, you can't divert from the obvious. What I really want to do is kind of like just talk about that. I mean, we can talk about the bigger spectrum of things, but the reality of it is it makes zero difference. Not going to make any difference at all. Hang on one second, because my hangout just ended. Let me see what's going on. Alrighty. Alright, let me start a new hangout real quick. But anyway, we need to keep it basic. Okay, I'm back. I'm focused. Okay, so one of the biggest things that was happening, or that I noticed happening on a regular basis, mainly over in the Discord, is a conversation starts, and the conversation will kind of start off with, so and so. We'll go like this. So and so will say, did you guys hear about the probe that saw so and so, or this and that? And then a flat earther will go, well, space isn't real. Okay, well, once that happens, you already know this. You already know their argument. Basically, they know what you're going to say. But here's the thing: once you start going into a realm of technology and way things work, you start complicating the explanation. I'm not really sure if it's because you want to seem smarter than the flat earther, or that is just your way of going about that conversation. But the realization is that here, YouTube, Discord, you don't have time. There's obviously 75 people that want to say something, and the flat earther is going to get defensive because there's 5 people going at them, or vice versa if you go to a flat earth channel or Discord, and it's gets into a I know more competition. Everything science does, everything about physics, it is really about the physics and all that stuff. It's either what scientists do and what we can observe and do ourselves. And if, like I said, if I can explain these things, there's no way, there's no possible way you can't at least admit to the obvious stuff. And again, it's not all the flat earthers. I talk to flat earthers all the time that do not do that. I'll ask them a simple question. We'll talk about gravity, and I get dialogues from them like, hey, well, this and this could be it. Well, it doesn't kind of work that way, but it's them. At least they're thinking. At least they're trying to figure something out to say, right? At some point in time, they're going to go look something up and maybe find something that helps their case or whatever. But the reality of it is if we're going to have a pissing contest to see who knows more, then we're not going to get anywhere. Conversation has to be basic, people. I heard they were talking about, earlier today I heard them talking about, I think it was the atmosphere. And they start going into the molecules and the way the particles and where the gradient is and all that stuff, and it's I mean, good explanation, but the realization of it is it's not necessary. Let's talk about the atmosphere right there. Just start there. There's a pressure gradient. We know that. You can go to a store, anybody, get a barometer, and you can measure that. You can go to get a barometer, you can get these other, there's things you can do yourself, and it's not expensive. You can literally go do it right now. Some of you it's a little late, but you can still go do it at Walmart. It doesn't matter. And therefore, we know for a fact that the atmosphere from low to high, it changes. Period. If it was a dome, then that second law of thermodynamics, which, is very technical, but we can still keep it basic. Then that would apply for us, right? But if that's the case, and like you say, science has broken that second law, Well, then the atmosphere itself would equal out basically. It wouldn't be a complete equal. It wouldn't completely even itself out, but it wouldn't be a decrease as it goes up to almost zero. And then you'll say, "I know. Can you do that?" Well, yeah, I can test that. I can go to a mountain. No, 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 no. Can you go up into the atmosphere, close to space, and measure that, and tell me and show me that the atmosphere decreases almost to zero? And I'll say the obvious. Well, no, I don't have a spaceship. And you'll say, well, then I guess that's not true. But then I'll have to ask you something. What scientist of your sources that you use has gone up there and seen or touched a dome? Has measured the atmosphere up there to tell you that it doesn't decrease to almost zero? And those are pretty simple things. I mean, and again, I did this last week, and I hate to call you out, Seek, but you did it, and it really ruffled my feathers. You said no, I don't want to do that. Let me put the link out there, guys. I don't know what happened to the other one. It kind of just fell off. Maybe I don't think I got sniped. I didn't put the link out yet. I think it just. I think my talent down. Yeah. The mind of God. I'm setting up a new one right now. I don't know what happened to my last one I just had up, but give me about 3 seconds, and then I'm gonna open the panel and I'll put that link out there for you guys. And again, you guys know I like to do my little rant, but there's other ones. I got other things to say. One of the this one's actually really ridiculous because it's not even about flat earthers at all, really. What it's about is these people that I even had a problem with it when I was a flat earther. These globers that believe, for some odd reason, they know it all, which entitles them to then basically start a conversation with, "You're flat earth, fucking idiot," and blah 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 this, blah 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 that, and guess what, guys? You deem yourselves right off the bat to be assholes. Both sides think it. It's not just me. I actually loathe those guys more. It's like, what part of the day did you wake up where you just talk shit like that? It makes no sense. But with that story, what ends up happening is you see I guess you would call it the frightened side of somebody, because one of the things that I noticed right away is that they have the same tactics as some of these. I guess I call them snake oil salesmen. Where you say something and they just mumble on pointlessly. I don't tolerate that anymore from either side, and that's the other thing. I've had it with fucking this whole let's talk to people like the fucking 3-year-old. It's seriously annoying as shit. One of the things that I personally gonna do is start saying something. I'm sorry, it's fucking like I said. I had a conversation with somebody, and he told me that basically, right before I left Flat Earth, he had basically told me some choice words that I know weren't going to happen, or weren't said, because obviously you guys know I'm a pretty triggered person. So what ends up happening is, if he had talked to me like he claimed to have, I would have gone off on him and never really interacted with him before or after that. Here you go. There's the link right there. And when you guys jump on, we can change the subject. Don't matter. But just know that when you pop off like that on somebody, you really need to understand that they're gonna remember you. So whatever idea you thought you had about a cool conversation, you've completely destroyed that idea. That's not gonna happen ever again. So seriously, guys, just fucking relax. What's up, Red? How you doing, sir? 1 second, because no one can hear you at the moment. I gotta change my settings once again.
Great. I can say anything cool.
Well, you can't say anything.
I can't stop cussing now.
I know you don't really cuss that often.
I don't cuss at all.
There we go. Perfect. All right. Hello, Brenda. How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Brenda, hello.
Yes.
Good evening. Good morning or whatever.
Good
it is.
evening.
Good evening.
Is there anyone
Who's that?
from Australia here? Like to
Did
find
I?
out what time it is.
Australia isn't real.
I know, that's what I'm saying, Brenda. They keep telling me. No, everyone at the Discord, they keep telling me, like right now, they live the next day.
In the future.
Like in the future. I'm like, dude, you guys don't live in the future. They tried to pull a fast one on me and tried to say I live in the past, and I was like, no.
America lives in the past, miles instead of kilometers.
No, we're just in the better future.
Yee.
Okay, so guys,
I like that.
tonight,
I was-
the one thing I want to make sure that happens, all right, guys? Everybody needs to be involved in this. If I start to rant, shut me up, okay? That's my new goal.
Right.
To stop talking so damn much, like I am right now. All right, so it's all set up. This is actually, Brenda. I'm actually really happy you're here because I was trying
Me too.
because you were talking to I forget who it was in the Discord earlier, and one of the things that I was trying to tell you is to just
all set up.
mute your mic or your YouTube.
Brenda, I'm actually really happy.
Oh, how you doing, sir?
Because you were talking to
The mind of God, make sure you mute your YouTube. We can hear the
one
background.
of the things that I was trying to tell you is to just all set up.
Perfect.
There you go.
Thank you, sir. One of the things I was trying to tell you, Brenda, is with that whole, I think it was, you guys were kind of doing the evolution thing, was about the rocks and all that stuff. Because I knew what you were saying, and that guy was completely just destroying it on purpose in the chat.
Yeah.
Just super simplify it. The best part about it is there are actually studies now that they've done that show the progression of how an animal or how these lizards, especially this one study, have started to evolve, and it's too easy. But what I notice over there is you guys you push the knowledge of what you know onto it instead of the easy explanation for things.
I'm not sure I understand.
So when for instance, okay, this is even better. When you guys were talking about the language, and
Yeah.
so what you were saying was right, but the way you were saying it made it wrong. It was weird. So we know certain animals have language, but because we can't interpret it, most of them, we can't consider it language. We don't know if it's language or just grunts, out of dogs, or are they just making noise? We don't know, but we know certain animals do. So we automatically assume a dog and a cat and a bird, they're all talking to each other. And I think that was kind of the confusion of it. And when you guys kept just adding to the conversation with other stuff, it makes it so he had more of a way out of having to even talk about it, Stiggy. But that's what he does, though.
I'm not sure I understand.
Okay, here it is.
There's
So
definition for what a language is.
So remember when I was saying how dumb I am? You have to explain it to me. Because once you go too far, everything goes over my head, and that's when I'm like, slow down, start over. You know what I mean?
I don't
actually think he is either.
No,
Well,
you've got this view of yourself that you think you're dumb. No.
No.
What you have is you have as much of a grasp of the science as most people have.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
it's just that
I feel like a
people in
caveman. So.
chats expect you to, well, people in chats expect everybody to know everything about everything, and that's not realistic because you're in a chat. Well, tell me about this. Well, tell me.
Yeah.
Just throw 9 things at you,
But
and then you have to be an expert at all of them.
I did want to introduce. Hang on.
Sean,
Yeah, go ahead. Well,
I think the issue is I don't respect those particular people.
but see, and
I don't respect.
But see, here's the thing. I understand you not respect.
They've lost my respect.
But here's the thing. I understand there are certain ones that I even talk to that you can't. They make it impossible. But
yeah.
But
that's what I mean.
you can't label all flat earthers under that realm and then just be about that. Because what happened? Listen, Brenda, if I had you on every panel that I was on when I was a flat earther, I think me and you would have clashed every time, and I wouldn't have learned anything. When I remember, because when I was a flat earther, when we had conversations, it wasn't about learning. It was about just that back and forth debate thing. And we weren't. Trust me. No matter every conversation we had, there was never going to be okay, you're right into it. That's why that last stream I did on that the chemtrail or the spraying, and you said that's the way you interpreted it. Well, someone else read it and they came back and said, yeah, hey Sean, I think you're both right, but she's right. It's not the way you made it sound. I apologize right off the bat because it just has to. That's the way it needs to be. But that wouldn't have never happened that night. In that, you know what I mean? You don't. When there's that no respect, you don't get to sit down and think about it. But all that aside, I did. Hang on. I did want to thank. Hey, how you doing, Mind of God?
Hey, what's up, man?
Appreciate you being here,
Sean,
man.
how are you? Yeah, it's all good, dude. Thanks for the invite, bro. So, what's your story, man? You're a flatty who became a baller, or what's the deal?
Yep, I was flat Earth for 2 years, and then pretty much the last 2 months, I started getting a better understanding of how things worked, rather than I think I know, which is what made becoming a flat earther a little easier because I was on that pedestal, even though I didn't know anything.
So, can you take me through the highlights of what brought you in and then took you out, if you don't mind?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Matter of fact, it's pretty much not a single event, but it was definitely the moment. I've always been in conspiracies, but I go at them a little different. I don't think anything about like 9/11. I don't do the holograms. I don't do the midgets that were in there putting explosives up in the middle of the night. I don't do none of that kind of stuff. I do a lot of the paper trail of it, and that's how I try to continue what I know. So I'm running through YouTube and I came across Flat Earth channel and watched it a couple times, and then had the opportunity to go on the panel. And right off the bat, I thought I knew everything. And I'm gonna debunk these flat earthers because they've only started about an hour ago, and I can finish flat Earth in about another hour and a half. So you start talking to them, and luckily it wasn't like it is now, where it's that conflict with everyone. We had fucking hours of long conversations with no disrespect. And so what ends up happening is I start realizing how little I know about the globe, but this looks funny, those little nitpick things, how this works, but it wasn't a big thing. It's just I didn't know. When I go outside, I observe it flat, those type of things. The last eclipse we had, or the eclipse we had in 2017, a video came up from NASA and it said a lot of people have questions on the path of the eclipse and why the shadow will be doing what it does. And NASA said, well, we don't know. We need to wait until it's done and look at the data and then go from there. Well, the problem with that is that then what ended up happening was D Marble came out an upload maybe 3 hours later. And he literally explained it, showed it on a little globe, and then gave his perspective of how it could be working on a flat Earth. Right then and there, I honestly went, well, if fucking NASA can't figure it out, but D Marble can, then what's the situation? So what ended up happening was basically I became a flat earther. A lot of it had to do with the arguments and all that other shit. But the reality of it was I didn't know. 2 years goes by, and I had a lot of people talking to me about, how things work, how to break things down, how to see them for myself, and I realized that flat Earth is just not possible. That's pretty much what it amounts to. All right. Can you guys hear me? Because it looks like you guys are all frozen on my side. Fuck. Alright. If you guys can hear me, hang tight. I don't know why my system has froze. Alright, let me see what's going on here. Oh, there it
What
is.
rockets really do is the question. Just that term.
Could you guys? Okay,
yeah,
did you guys hear me at all that whole time?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Well, before after you asked me about what got me into and all that.
Yeah, sorry. Some part of that got cut off.
Yeah, everything. My whole system just kind of froze for like 20 seconds. It was weird. You heard the D-marble part?
No.
Okay, so basically the 2 years goes through. Oh, I'm sorry.
You said you could refute these guys in a few minutes.
Yeah, that's the last I heard. Yeah.
Oh, wait.
At that point.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it was a lot longer than 20 seconds then.
You were talking to yourself.
Oh, yeah, I just ranted my ass off.
I've done that too.
So, okay.
I've done that.
So, basically, we had good conversation. It was a situation where it wasn't like now where the bickering and the disrespect. It was a lot of respect going on, and I slowly learned the holes in the globe that it does have. And once you get to that point, and if you don't know enough about the globe, then it will overrun the globe or the globe model.
Sorry, can I ask you something relative to what you just said?
Yes.
The bickering and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree it's not productive and all that, but I hope that both sides understand what's on the table. Like, if this is proven to be flat, atheism's dead overnight, and then if it's not, the Bible's dead overnight. So there is a lot of emotions and everything at stake. So
I'm not sure.
But here's the thing. Yeah, I don't either. Here's the thing. That bickering that I'm talking about, it's flat disrespect. I'm pretty sure you can't name a time you've ever had a disrespectful conversation and it got somewhere. I mean, and you're 100% right. The shape would be determined. I personally, I don't believe in a creator. I don't believe in any kind. I don't think the shape of this earth matters. I can tell you. I mean, everyone that's sub to me knows. Even when I was a flat earther, I said this. It does not matter compared to what's going on. Period.
Wait, what do you?
Okay, so my main research, the thing I love to do and look up and get in my conspiracy theory thing is geoengineering, weather modification, cloud seeding. And so I know I do probably 90% of my research into that. And so talking about the shape seems pointless in my brain, except for the fact that it's just not real. For you, I stereotype you, but it's not a disrespectful. I just my view of what I see. It makes it harder for you to want to hear our facts about the globe because it affects your God. Problem is I don't think it does. For one,
that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. The Bible is obviously a flat Earth book. We have to. The fact that you guys don't concede that means there's something else wrong.
Why?
With your brain, honestly.
Okay. Well,
it's obvious
what does? So you believe?
No, I don't believe. It's obvious that the Bible is a flat Earth book.
Okay. Okay. Well, that doesn't prove or disprove anything.
Okay, but I'm just telling you the what is on the table is absolutely huge.
So why does it have to be no God if it's a globe?
No, it's not that there's no God. It's just the Bible, the Quran, and the Torah are all evaporate overnight because they're all flat Earth books because they all are rooted in the Book of Genesis.
But don't they all say that there can only be one God too?
Yeah, so those are all gone. Now we have to look for another God, or there's one God who made all these religions and is kind of clowning us with that. That's a possibility. But yeah, I mean, that's a pretty big chunk of the world that's kind of devastated. So there is a lot on the table,
But
even though people don't know it. Yeah.
I don't personally. I don't see that that being an issue. I see a lot of things being an issue. Like I said, the way that our militaries, our governments, our industries, all of those things run are way bigger than the shape. I think if anything, the shape, this whole debate on the shape is a nice little cloud form.
It's not the shape; it's who's the deceptive ones on Earth. That's what we're trying to get to.
Well, then it's flat? Your push to find this out, or is it what you really think is happening? Because you just went from the Bible says the Earth is this shape, but we're using this. This is a platform to find out who the government and the elite are that are lying to us. I mean, the shape. I do that. And the shape has nothing to do with it, obviously. My views have not changed. That was one of the things a lot of people thought would happen. Oh, so now you think 9/11 was exactly like they say? Hell no. Hell no. Everything I question now, I question then. The only difference is now I have an understanding of what's actually happening.
I'm not trying to cause conflict. I think I sort of agree with what you're getting at, but I think it's also becoming more and more evident now, even amongst the flat Earth community, that the stakes are being raised even in amongst our group, So yeah, there's a lot of like quote unquote drama and all that, and it's like a lot of that too is necessary because people do have to ultimately then decide within that group, where do they stand? Do they align with the Bible? Do they not? Do they align with the Quran or not? Do they want a narrative for why this is happening or not? And yeah, you do have to start deciding where you draw the line of what conspiracies, come along for the ride, so to speak. And there's a lot of debate on that, and it looks like Dell and people like that don't want to go further than just flat Earth. And then there's obviously people who are on the Russian vid side, and then I'm a little bit past that, that there's a huge spectrum even within the flat Earth. And so again, I'm not saying like go and argue and yell and all that. Like a lot of it is.
Oh yeah, your opinion and how you feel it is just as important. No, I that's the main reason I like doing this. I have no problem with. I mean, if you wanted to do talk a whole hour about something and you said, "Hey, Sean, I need a platform to do it," I mean, go right ahead. It's not it's not my place to shut anybody up. I just want to have a conversation. I don't think you're causing any conflict. Obviously we're all different people, so a lot of us think differently.
No, I mean, I just want both sides to. We both have to be aware of what's on the table. Like,
but
if the Earth is flat, God exists. That's a fact. Atheism is dead overnight. Like, if the Earth is proven to be flat, anybody who's an atheist, and serious about it, should be put in asylum, like a mental.
Okay, but see, here's the thing. Okay, so hang on. So with that said, there are things that, because again, that's kind of like one of those things where it's like, well, you're kind of giving an argument that doesn't have an argument. But if that is the case in what you're saying, then why are observations we have that show differently? Now, one of the issues I have with perspectives and this refraction, all that stuff, is that if it was just these mirages that we're seeing, things that aren't really there or not how they say, wouldn't different observations give us different results rather than all consisting with the globe?
Yeah, and agreed. I think that it's going to come out sooner or later, something linear that you guys will not be able to hide from. And like, in my opinion, God is doing this to pace the.
Wait, say it again. Say it again.
Like all the non-linearities that I feel ballers have the luxury of hiding the curve in. You're not going to be able to hide from.
Like what?
Longer. I mean, all the obstruction, all the things that you guys have to use to like get us to believe that there's a curve, when obviously
like what?
It's not we have to use. It's what you observe to get to that conclusion.
Here's the deal. Let's this whole thing to me is like this whole discussion is kind of preposterous. But let's just say that
No kidding.
it's a real curve, and then there was a real curve, and the boat's going over some curve like this. Like, do you agree? Like that should be really easy to.
Boats don't go over a curve.
Yeah, or let's say as they're going over.
Not anymore, they don't.
Hang on. I want to hear him.
Yeah, as they go over this alleged curve, and whatever this like not being seen from the bottom up or whatever, like shouldn't like now the tilt of it leaning forward, like these kind of things should be very easy.
Yeah.
Wait, okay, here.
None of that happens.
And Brenda, I promise you, after I say this, I'm gonna let you
I'm
guys
okay.
go.
I'm okay.
No, I just want to make sure. But okay, so what you just said wasn't an explanation for why that happens. You're kind of saying, well, the boat going over the curve, it's not what it is. You're right. It should be just debunked by now. But
Yeah.
Okay, so then what would be the evidence for that, or better yet, just the observation of that?
Yeah, I'm saying how easy should that be with the technology that we have to show that the orientation is changing every moment that it's moving? Like, how easy is that? And the fact that it's not done.
Well, we do.
Is one of
We
the
do.
million,
We have-
many
You can use
why we know that
You
it's
could
flat.
use a total station to do that.
No, I'm not. I know that it's flat. You guys could like.
No.
show this.
No. You believe it's flat, because here's the difference between the two. For instance, you need to know something for anybody, for even scientists to figure out and explain it to us, so we know. They have to observe it. That's where it starts. Now, where do you observe, for instance, the sun going across our sky as a flat Earth would, or a boat at the horizon, for that matter?
Do you really believe the sun is there and then we're tilting and rotating? Like,
Okay, and with that, I know what you're. I know you. I can't go up there. But here's the thing: when you say that, the problem I have is, and I said it earlier. Who is your scientific source that explains to you that the sun doesn't do that? That the sun isn't physical?
No, I'm not talking about its physicality. I'm talking about what's moving and what's not relative. We know that it's flat, and there would have to obviously be incredibly compelling evidence to show otherwise. And we know.
But that's
What's your evidence?
that is the compelling evidence.
For a source.
One easy thing you guys have been able to provide is
Basic.
as the boat is moving, you should be able to show us that its orientation is perpetually changing.
I mean,
Okay, wait. Sean asked you for a source. Where are you getting from? And you didn't answer. Could you answer that? Where is you getting your information from?
No, I'm saying my source is that I'm starting from first principles, what I observe and see. I have no reason to think that we're moving, so I'm not going to believe that, and I know that we're not moving.
Okay.
And then so that's the first thing.
Okay.
You don't.
Here's
That's the problem.
So just in that alone, here are the problems that I ran into for flat Earth. That would also mean that the sun has to have different speeds. It has to.
Why?
Well, summer and winter. I mean, the sun, it moves. That tilt you were talking about. I mean, it that is there. The sun and our weather and everything is affected by what we're told is how it works. But the problem is when you go outside and you observe the sun and our weather patterns and how the day and night work, sunrise, sunset, it doesn't. You're not observing something that would give you the idea of a flat Earth.
The seasons are not consistent from one year to the other, man. That's absurd.
No, well, here's the thing, and I know it, and I understand what you're going to say because I do that. That's my research. The problem is you're wrong in the sense that the seasons happen, whether weather happens. See, you're thinking the daily weather has anything to do with climate, anything to do with the actual seasons of it. We have an autumn, we have a fall, we have a winter, we have a summer. Everywhere, no matter what, you cannot say that blah 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 didn't have a winter just because it didn't have snow.
Okay, let's stick to things because we're on the precipice of this anyway. Linear, repeatable, and observable. All this season stuff and nonlinear things and all that. Like
it's just one more proof. That's the problem I have.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be if it was flat. If it was
all of those will be consistent with a linear, observable, repeatable.
Well, here's the thing.
What does linear mean?
Well, what he's
The
trying.
opposite of nonlinear. You can't hide things in nonlinearities.
Okay.
Things that are
What are you talking about?
See, and that's what's happening right now is exactly what I was talking about. Okay, remember I'm a moron. So here's the deal. So the only way I can go ahead.
Brett, do you agree vision is a nonlinear thing? Our vision.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
What do you mean vision is non-linear? I don't know what that means. I just don't know what that means.
Real basic.
Explain it to me.
You don't think that what we're perceiving and what we see is a non-linear, like if we were to like model what our eye is seeing and go through the mathematics that are needed to understand what exactly we're interpreting in our brain, that would be a non-linear computation or however you view it. Like the mathematics would be non-linear.
Okay, Brenda.
I bet you don't even know what non-linear means.
Okay, Brenda, this is what he's saying right now. This is what he's saying.
I don't understand it. Honestly,
I'm telling you right now. Linear perspective.
You don't understand it because we know that.
So here's why, Brenda. So this is the definition for linear perspective: a system of creating an illusion of depth on a flat surface. All parallel lines in a painting or a drawing using this system converge in a single vanishing point on the composition's horizon line. So basically, what we observe is them saying that it shouldn't do that because it's a flat Earth, and because of that, it's not what you're seeing. You're seeing an illusion, basically. So what he's saying, right? You're saying that the whole bottom up and going over this curve isn't happening at all. You're saying.
I'm saying we're getting to the point where there's going to be a proof or a test or an evidence that you can't hide the curve in a nonlinear.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So you're saying at some point, flat Earth will have a proof.
Yeah, or a test, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
So
you don't have what evidence do you have now?
Well, see, that's the problem, because
common sense.
If we go outside and we start if we both went outside with a piece of paper and a pen, and we wrote down each observation that we both looked at the same time, no matter what happens, it's not going to be what you favor. Because the sun wouldn't work that way, and you can say, "How do you know it's there?" My knowledge of it being there is better than the flat Earth knowledge, because I don't see a source saying, "Hey, we think the sun isn't actually what you see. It's a second sunspot or something." There's no science that says that. So your source would have to be you believe. That's why I was saying that earlier. You don't know because you don't have a source, or you can't do it yourself. It's the same thing you guys are saying to me about space. Well, I have to trust somebody, and if we're going to go on the how we know kick, because again, who you get your information from does not mean you're right, but you have to get your information from somebody for it to be part of it.
Yeah. So let's what I think is going to start happening more, and I'm going to start using my channel a little bit to do, but like basically tests and experiments and things like that don't involve nonlinear effects are right around the corner. Again, I can't tell you the date if it's not happened already. I
don't even know what that would entail. What would a non-linear effect be?
It would be things related to like using drones or spirit levels, or things moving in a predetermined path using.
How is that non-linear?
It's just it means that there will be no visual interpretation.
What would you expect to happen? Like, what would your end result be?
I mean, various things. Like I posted a test on my channel that I haven't done, but if it were done, it's a linear, repeatable thing that could prove that gravity's real. So things like that are going to start happening.
We can already
okay.
prove that
Then
gravity's real.
Would it be safe to say this, and then Brenda, you can go ahead because I know I know you guys are biting.
I'd like to hear Brenda prove gravity.
Yeah, hang on.
I'm not upset.
Oh no, I know you're not. I'm just saying. I know I'm talking a lot.
I'm actually
and I know,
perplexed. Is what I am.
hang on.
I haven't heard this before.
But mind of God, can I ask you something? And this is an honest question. Wouldn't you say then you're not a flat earther? You're globe denying. Because again,
I'm a flat earther.
Well, no, and I'm not. And the problem I'm having is because again, this is right what I'm talking about now is the issue that I had as a flat earther. You have to have at least observations to know something is real or a fairy tale.
We do though, Sean.
Like what? Okay. Here's the problem. Here's the thing. I've seek and find. I've asked you till I'm blue in the face, and you keep asking. Don't ask me again about seeing gravity. And then, mind of God, you had stated a few times that you know, but you're not stating an evidence. You're stating evidences that may happen in the future, or you're giving us an example, or you're basically giving us a reasoning behind, or I guess it'd be your hypothesis of it, without you haven't done any tests yet. It's just your hypothesis of it. So
yeah, fair enough. I mean, yeah, true. Everything. So 99.8.
And I get what you're saying. I mean, let's just say that they are lying to us about the shape and the information they're giving us. But the issue is that what they're lying to us about, like what they're saying to us. I mean, it does have truth in it, in the fact that there are things we can verify ourselves. I mean, again, what if it is a phenomenon that happens and they explain it this way? Well, they still explain it that way, and it doesn't work that way. We still have that evidence that it would work that way on a different shape. Is the best way I can think of it.
I mean, there's a couple things that you guys have as like things you can lean on, but
like direct observations.
But see that lean on is at least leaning us into the door. Like the reason, like put it this way,
proof of gravity. This ought to be
okay. Hang on. Like for instance, I think, and I'm so for respect. I can give a shit less about disrespectful people, but I think all concavers should be kicked in the nuts straight off the bat. Problem is they actually have observations that a couple steps that make people go, huh? But so that's why they're still here. I don't know why, but
concavers actually have, or cell earthers actually have a better case to make for their beliefs than flat earthers do.
Here's the biggest problem with the way you guys talk, and in general, this whole discussion, which again proves that the Earth is flat, is like kicking in the nuts. Everybody's dumb. No one knows anything.
Well, again. See, here's the problem. Here's the problem. Yeah, here's the problem. This is how I've always been as a flat earther. I know we don't know each other, but see, can vouch for Brenda, shit, everyone that knew me. I didn't believe everything a flat earther did, so I actually debated a lot of flat earthers based on that. The issue I'm having is you're now stereotyping, and I can guarantee you I'm not like any other glober you talk to. Because I still have issues with a lot of stuff, but the things I understand.
Yeah, dude, because you know that the Earth is flat.
I believed it was at one point in time, and once
I
had
saw something that made you believe that, though.
No. You're right. Yeah, you're right. I learned all the different holes, aka phenomenons that the globe has, and I didn't know enough about the globe to explain those things.
Here's the biggest issue is like the flat earth debate in these other places are literally telling quote unquote scientists about cause and effect like it's some kind of like major difficulty like to understand. Like that's like going up to a Christian and like talking like, do you know Jesus? Like it's absolutely insane. Like how are we arguing with you guys just simply about cause and effect being like a foundational thing.
Hang on. So
What's going on, doesn't know anything about science.
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing, man?
Or how to make observations or anything.
No, I understand cause and effect. What do you want to call that? Science or something else?
Again, why do you believe science is fake? Because there's a God.
I'm saying you guys don't apply science because cause and effect is obvious. Like, of course you need to establish cause and effect.
So
any kind of
so your argument is that you flat Earth and us globe don't see the same thing.
You cannot establish cause and effect for a lot of the voodoo that you guys are supporting.
Okay, but again, I said this earlier, the issue that I had is I really realized this. I'll give you one evidence, which isn't a proof, it's just an evidence or observation of evidence for the globe. And I'll ask you for one, and you'll divert from the evidence.
But of course, you have a stacked deck. You understand.
100%. I 100% have a stacked deck. I 100% do.
Just for comedy, let's hear it. What is it?
Everything. The sunrise sunsets one. The sunset sunrise.
But see, that's not a proof.
It is a proof. It's an observation. No, you're right. It's not a proof. It's not. It's an observation, which makes it part of my evidence.
Cool. So we'll give you those. Now, why don't we not waste time as a both sides if we really care about the truth, which one side clearly doesn't, and I'll let you decide which one doesn't.
Okay, so hang on, before you because that hang on, stop, because that actually is a slap in the face to me. Because the one thing I very clear on, I don't give a fuck about the shape. What matters to me is all of humanity and the shit they're doing to us. So when you say something like that, that kind of means like I'm not looking out for people.
No, it's just a dogmatic religious.
Relax. No, we're not doing that tonight, Brenda. Go ahead.
My point is like, why don't we come up with something that's off the shelf that everybody can do, not referring to like stars that are however far away or like things that we can't do again off the shelf. That's where we're at now.
And that's the problem. Every night of your life, you can go outside and observe the sunrise sunset. So you know it does the same thing all year round.
Why don't we use technology, something rigorous, something
we do.
At least interesting.
Okay. See, so you're saying why don't we do that? Okay, what?
Yes. Why don't we?
Okay, now say what rather than just say we should do that, because we do that. We do.
That's what we should think. That's what I posed that experiment on my channel. I don't need to do it because I know the result is obvious.
Groups of flat earthers have meetups all the time, and they run these tests. And FEer themselves they're not producing anything because they're not coming out with results. So don't say.
But dude, if you have the luxury of standing on the truth of this ball, how hard is it for you as a community to just? Why don't you just offer something good for us, like something off the shelf, something good?
All you're doing right now is word salad.
Yes, let Brenda do it. Maybe she can.
Go ahead, Brenda. Brenda, and the mind of God, both of you guys. I want to keep it respectful. Go ahead, Brenda. I think he wanted to talk about gravity.
What does he want?
I think he wanted to talk about gravity.
First point he discussed about cause and effect, and before cause and effect, I mean, jumping into the pot, then we need to define what science is.
That's a good
idea.
So
if we can have a cognizant agreement based on what science means, then we can go forward with cause and effect relationship. So let me start and get first what science means to me. The science is just the study of the natural world, and
Why is this happening? Think. What's open? Come on.
You can draw a free body diagram with forces.
So gravity is the name that we give to the phenomenon we observe.
Okay.
Things fall down.
At some point, are there forces that can be used to articulate why certain things are staying on ball Earth? True or false?
Well, let's just stick with the fact that it's just the name that we give to an observation of a phenomenon, right? Of things falling down when we let go of them.
No, fair enough. When you're done following the
So you're agreeing with me that that's what we can call that. We can call that gazorp,
Yeah,
or we can call it
whatever we want.
We can call it whatever we want. That phenomenon.
I understood that reference.
Gravity.
Sure, let's say that phenomenon is the thing that pulled that item to now be on Earth. Like, fair enough. Let's call it that. Now the thing is on Earth and is apparently exhibiting a force between itself and the center of the Earth. Can you or anybody draw a free body diagram for various items that are sitting on this alleged ball Earth? Can you do that, or is that not possible?
It's not necessary.
No, of course it's necessary.
Why?
Who said that?
I did, Sean. Why is it necessary?
What do you mean, dude? We're talking about this. We talked about science. So can you do science without mathematics?
Well, I already told you. You can do science. You can do mathematics. All of it. You can also simplify it too. You're going. What you're doing is we're explaining something, and then you jump to this weird lingo about it that doesn't.
There's
really...
no lingo, dude. We're trying to take a concept and put math behind it so we can understand it. Why is this so complicated?
With respect, most of the conversations I've had with flat earthers, they've said mathematics is a lie and it's invented to make the ball.
Okay,
and now you're saying mathematics is essential.
What does that have to do with this discussion? This is common sense. If you're going to do science,
because this is what happens.
Every time we talk to a flat earther, we give a different story.
Which is why, remember, about 5 seconds ago, Physics Warrior said...
You're not staying on subject. Y'all talking to him, though. Talk to him.
About 5 seconds ago, Warrior over here said, hey, let's define science. So what parts of science do you believe in and not believe in? What parts of math do you believe and not believe? I think that is a very...
We want to use math to articulate what we're seeing. Why is this? Why are we even talking about this? This just proves how stupid this whole thing is.
Wait.
Well,
no, stop. Hang on. Stop. Hang on, Brenda. Hang on.
Well,
What I don't get what's happening right now is that
I get it.
It's pretty easy to like the way I roll is it's a pretty simple way. So what you're saying is you're just saying this is ridiculous. But you're not putting forth anything. You're not.
No, I'm asking you guys.
Okay.
I'm telling you, there's an item sitting on ball Earth. Can someone explain to me the rules to make a free body diagram showing the forces that are acting on that? Yes or no? Is it possible?
So what you want someone to show you how all the forces act on a ball.
Simplify it. Use one item.
Okay.
I don't care.
Yeah. Get in a chair and spin. Put your arms out and then put your arms in.
Okay, no, dude, who said that?
I did, Sean. You asked about these forces, right?
First of all, do you know what a free body diagram is?
Okay.
Let me help
Time
you.
out.
Please don't teach us, please.
I'm going to tell you right now. You asked for a certain thing. Now, if you want... No, here's the thing. Name one person on this panel who has said, I'm a scientist that figures everything out. Okay? Nobody did. So, what happens is you're asking... for something that no one right now has. Why? Well, for one, it's on right on the spot. No one, come on. And for two, it wasn't planned. So how are we going to have any of the information you want? But there is evidence we can give you to at least look into, or believe it or not. But you're not. Here's the thing. Again, you're not putting forth any evidence for why you believe it's flat.
I'm attacking the thing that everybody is
again, and I've said this a dozen times, and this is what the problem is. You spend so much time picking at the globe, but not showing evidence for a flat Earth. That makes you a globe denier, not a flat earther.
That's fine. Agreed. It's coming. I'm unplucking, like taking out the roots of this. Gravity madness.
Well, okay. So here's the thing. Okay, so you say you're getting at gravity. Okay, so here's the thing. The only time because remember, I was a flat earther, so I did look into this. The only spot you get a situation where gravity is not what we are taught, and I don't care who, anybody on this panel, nobody here is going to disagree with me. Once you get out to the galaxy, in the edges of the galaxy, something is happening that is effing it up what we know as gravity. The problem with what you're saying is that or what you would say is, oh, well, that messes gravity up. The problem is what about from that point back to the center of Earth? It all works. Everything.
Dude, you're telling me if someone told you a force exists, you wouldn't want to be able to characterize it mathematically? Are you literally out of your mind?
Okay, so can you?
Here's what I think
Wait,
is
can
going
you?
on here.
Can you?
Can I?
No, wait. No, I want to know if that is the case.
Seem
If
to
that's
be
the
getting
case,
anywhere.
and that's a far-fetched question to ask of
Can
me, can you give me any math that makes it flat?
What do you mean? I don't need gravity to live on the
Wait.
planet.
Okay, can you? Okay, then what? Show me the math for what makes things fall, and not words. Math. I want to see the math. Remember?
For what makes things fall?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're holding something and you're releasing it.
Okay,
And
I just had the exact same explanation, and you said no. I wanted to see the math. So, in respect to what you want, I want to see your math for why things fall.
For why things fall, or like,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
Yeah. Well, if it's not gravity, so I don't know what to call it, but things do fall. I want to know the math on why they do that.
Well, but asking why is different than like the mathematics behind.
Well, the math would answer that why. Just like you said, why do you call it gravity? Well, give me the math.
I'm not asking why gravity exists. I'm asking if it exists. Show me the forces that it.
Well, if gravity doesn't exist, then give me the math that shows it doesn't.
Okay, I will, because you guys can't draw a free body diagram.
Okay, go ahead. Show me.
No, I can draw a free body diagram. I just don't have.
Wait, no. Hang on, mine, because now I see what you're doing. We're gonna stop. I don't care if we stop everything. I want to see your math.
For what?
For why you know, for how you know gravity isn't real.
You really gonna ask that man to do some math?
He just asked me to do math. See how what are you saying? He just asked me to. I can't. So I want to
You
see
want him
yours.
to like come up with an equation?
Wait.
Like, right
Seek and find. Do you not
He doesn't have
understand
an
that he
equation.
literally just asked me to do the exact same thing?
Okay.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Here's the deal. So, like, this is the theory that they'll tell us, which is gibberish. Like, is that every mass that's on Earth, let's call it M1, interacts with M2, which is like the center of the Earth. We call it, that's the bigger one. Then there is this F equals G M1 M2 over R squared stuff. And so
Wait. Are you giving your equation, or are you just giving us our equation again?
Yeah, but
Yes,
I'm
yes.
explaining.
What's yours?
I'm explaining.
No, hang on, Brenda. Let him go, because I would love to hear his equation.
So, do you agree that's the concept? So these masses interact with masses, and then the forces that are between them are governed by that F equals G M1 M2 over R squared. Correct?
Go on.
Right.
Okay. So apparently that's a real physical force. Do you guys believe that, or is it some voodoo?
Yeah,
Like, is
not
it
a
real?
force.
It can be understood.
You just said physical force.
No, you can't say that
Define your
force that-
explanation. Define your term of physical force.
Oh,
That's how I
this
get
is
it.
funny.
Is it physical? What do you mean? Is it physical?
No. I want to know your definition for it, because
force is physical.
you've also told me I need math. You don't need math, which you still are diverting from doing. I really want to see your math.
I'm gonna get rid of gravity, and then we can work on the flat Earth math.
Okay,
together.
but you are going to show me the math for how you know gravity is not real, right?
He's never going to show you the
He's gonna lie. Hey, I'll tell everybody right now. This conversation does not need to move until that happens. I told you. I cannot do the math. Look, I cannot do the math you asked me to do. I am not smart enough. I don't know it. Are you saying you know it? Why you have the math for why gravity isn't real? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'll walk you through it. Yeah, I'll walk you through it right here. That's
okay. Let's go. I got a pen and paper. Let's do it.
Okay, so do you agree with the formulation, at least at the setup, that F equals GM1 over M2 over R squared holds?
But gravity doesn't exist, remember? So you can't use gravity in your equation.
Give me a second, man. I'm making sure we agree on the shit that you guys believe first.
We know we have gravity. You don't need to explain that.
Okay, and give me one more second.
Okay.
I'll explain to you how it's not possible.
Yes, sir.
So You agree with that at least? That if you have an item on Earth,
Yes,
it's
we agree.
interacting with the center of this alleged ball Earth,
Get
and
to
then
the point.
force between them.
Get to the point.
No, do you agree with that?
Yeah.
I don't know. What
Yes.
Yes, we agree with how they say gravity works. Go
Is
ahead.
it a real force? Like, is it?
Get to the
Yes,
point.
it is a force. Yes.
So it's pulling or pushing. How is it acting? Just curious. Because I don't know. I'm assuming it.
You do know.
Okay, but that's
You do
not
know.
the
Sean,
equation.
it sound a lot like me and your conversation,
Well,
man.
sure.
Yeah, but see, here's the difference. See, we're now conditioned to it, so it's not going to happen.
Sean.
Does the force?
Gravity is a force of mutual attraction.
Okay, so
a
it's from
force
the
of
inside.
mutual attraction.
It's pulling. It's from the inside.
It's a force of mutual attraction.
Is it on the inside or is it pushing from the top?
No one here.
Between
no
the
one here.
centers
Like,
of mass.
put it this way:
of
no
the
one
two
here
objects.
studies it enough to have gotten that deep into it. So there's no point in asking right here. Go ahead.
What do you mean?
That's what you just accused us of not doing.
No, well, here's the thing.
Understand
It doesn't
it
matter.
well enough.
As long as I have a basic idea of how gravity works and I can explain that, then I have at least an explanation. I'm waiting
Well,
for
you
You
that.
don't, though. You
The
don't.
next-
I mean,
I do.
5 minutes.
technically,
And I've done it. I've explained it to
gravity
you,
is
see,
the force.
dozens of times.
No, Sean, stop it.
Concept,
Okay.
an equation for
See,
compiler
he's
model.
never going to actually explain
No.
his
I know.
himself.
No,
He's
stop,
never gonna
guys.
give
Everyone, stop,
his math.
stop. Again,
They're
I'm
never
not.
gonna
I'm going to
do
say.
it.
I'm going to say it again, and I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. This conversation is not going to move until either you say you can't do the math or you tell us the math. Only because I need an answer, like you're pressing for us.
Okay,
He's
no, that's
never
fine.
gonna do it.
Like, that's
Never
fine.
gonna-
Here's the last thing that makes it non-physical. Is so, you guys, there's a force in between two masses. We'll say that. We'll agree. What pulling, pushing, I guess we'll have to shelf that. But there is some force in between two masses, right?
So you're admitting
So
that
just time.
you're saying that there is a force.
No, in the baller theory, the
Again,
religion. That's what we do.
we really need your equation, because that's what
Sean.
you're just explaining what we are trying to we've been explaining to you. So now we're waiting for
Sean.
yours.
Just 1 second.
Yes, sir. Why is this happening? Fucking what is happening with this system? It's not that.
And we're asking, do you have an actual alternative on a
No,
flat
we'll
Earth
get to
model?
that. We'll get to that once you guys.
When?
agree that-
We are.
No,
We
no,
are-
we're not. That's the
stage
thing.
now.
Again,
We've already gone to that
Yeah.
already. Now we're waiting for your
Yeah.
I'm still
not a
waiting.
presentation, but we need you to rebut, or we need to have an answer, a
So do we
conclusion.
agree gravity's non-physical then? Are we okay with moving that? It's not like any other force.
no, stop.
No,
No, stop. Hold on.
gravity-
Here's the thing. You cannot.
All right, so Brenda,
you're
explain
not.
how
You're
two
not.
gravity
You can't
can be in
explain.
space and not interact.
You can't explain
Dude, go for it.
We're
your.
talking about two gravity
God damn it.
forces.
How can two forces of gravity that are keeping various things held to Earth?
Again,
There's just one-
let me say this.
there's just
One, hang
one
on, guys.
force.
Everyone,
What are you
stop. I'm gonna
talking
say this
about?
one more time because it's.
Let's say we have multiple masses.
This is not getting anywhere.
So, dude, gravity.
Am I deaf? Like,
Okay,
am I shit on mute?
Sean, let me know when you get bored with this. Let me know.
fuck.
No, hang on. Can you guys hear me? Like my
Do
audio?
I get to talk at all?
No, hang
or
on.
what?
No, because this is the issue. My God, we're not
Look at
moving
Trump.
on. We're not going to decide
Oh, okay.
something's going
All right.
on later. We're not going to figure out our version of it. The question stand. You wanted me to give you the mathematics for this, and I said right off the bat, I don't know how. I'm not. I don't know it. Okay, it's either you don't know it or you're going to present it. But I need to know which one, because I'm not going to ask. You say, okay, I'll do it, and then go, well, gravity isn't physical. Are we agreeing on this and this? Like, that's not what's happening. I
What are
mean,
you talking
it's
about?
seriously,
What
it's
did you just say?
a runaround right now. What you're doing is a runaround.
I think that's fair, Sean. I think that's
Yeah.
I
fair.
think it's fair that I just cornered your nonsense.
No, okay,
you don't.
and I say this a lot, guys. This is recording. You're not going to make it seem like I did something and you got us. No, that's why I stop everything. That's why I do what I do. I just did. The issue with what you just said is it's very clear because I stop the conversation every time to get the answer that you keep dodging. And then you say it's because you crushed us. No, it's because you're dodging it, and I have to stop it.
You guys know. You guys have a sense that I'm picking on the thing that you guys know is wrong.
No.
We're waiting
No.
for you to say something.
We're waiting for you to say
something.
explain how two forces of gravity. Can
no.
occupy the
Again,
same
do you have an equation or do you not know it?
I just walked you through the.
No,
your
you didn't. No.
nonsense.
You walked us through. I said, where's the math that shows gravity isn't real? All you did was make your reasonings of what our equation is, and then asked if it was physical. That's not an equation. That's not your equation.
Yeah, that's fine. So, okay, here's the math then. So let's say F1 equals gm1 m2 over r squared, and then there's another F2 equals another m2 with the mass of the Earth over r squared, and they're occupying the same space. How come they don't?
How can
interact?
two objects? Wait.
You got two.
Alright.
forces.
Okay, now
You really think that's a question,
yeah.
don't you?
Now say it again.
They don't
But
interact.
say it again like you know I'm actually writing it down. Go ahead. F1.
Yeah, okay, so you'll have two gravitational force vectors to model what gravity is apparently doing.
Okay, so
allegedly
F1 and an F2, right?
Yeah, using that formula.
That cancels out for binomials.
Now
So they're
continue.
occupying the same space in 3 dimension.
So how do
how
they?
can they
Wait.
not
So how do they occupy the same space? And I don't know, so I'm
They're
asking.
co-located. Like they're in the same place on ball Earth.
So it'd be Earth in its atmosphere, so to speak.
I don't know. If you want to visualize just like an arch and then some item right below it. Those are two things that'll have gravity forces occupying the same space.
Am I don't. So like the Earth and the Moon.
Sure. I mean, you could take it out far. It doesn't matter.
Literally, I have no. I'm not picturing it, so I'm asking
Okay, so
honestly.
Think of an arch, and then a bunny rabbit walking underneath the arch.
Okay, so
Visualize.
okay, so you're
Are you
saying
serious?
a dome
Yeah, I think
in
he's
Earth,
serious.
a dome in Earth,
Oh, good
right?
grief.
Is what you're saying?
Wait, you guys are serious? You guys are.
No.
This is too easy for you to answer.
No.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, hang on. Stop.
Good.
Again.
So Brenda, let's hear it.
Wait.
This is too
Stop.
easy.
Solve the simultaneous
Hang on.
equations.
Here's the problem I have.
Go.
You just did it again, where you guys don't have an answer. An answer to what? You're giving us your equation that I asked you to repeat, and you haven't even repeated. I'm literally trying to write it down so I can understand this.
I'm telling you, there are forces that would be acting along that arch with the center of the Earth.
You said
right?
an equation when you first started just now. You said an equation. What was that? F1,
It's an
F2,
arch.
and what was the rest of the equation?
Whatever the force is that governs the force, whatever the equation is that governs the force between two masses in this.
And what is it? What is it?
This gm1 m2 over r squared. I
Okay.
guess.
No,
You
that's
cannot-
yours.
That's ours.
What's yours?
Yes, the force.
That's true.
I'm 100% convinced. I've listened to you this is now the 6th chat I've listened to, and now I'm talking to you.
Why are you talking
Person to
bro,
person.
we're going through math, man. Relax.
I think you're a Poe.
Wait, stop.
Let's get back to this
Wait,
rebuttal.
Sean,
Hang on. Here's one problem.
Wait,
My system just went down, so I don't know what's happened in the last 30 seconds.
This guy's getting real emotional, dude.
Oh no, wait.
I'm not emotional at all.
I'm going to pretty much sum this up. I'm gonna tell you.
You are trying to trigger people.
I might have raised my
this.
voice a little bit.
You are doing this deliberately.
The other guy's getting
No,
real.
that's the thing. Hang on.
This is a tactic.
Yes, okay.
This is a tactic. I don't
Again,
believe that
and here's the problem. Mind of God, I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, Red, you're just overreacting like all the Globers do.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem is.
What did all this post stuff we were
Hang
talking
on.
about?
You're right. Stop. One thing I do, I'm gonna say, if I say stop. Okay. Anyway, here's why I do this. And again, earlier you tried to say why, but this is exactly the issue I have. I know these arguments. I made these arguments. I know the hole in your argument. And the hole in your argument is acknowledging you were talking about your flat earth now. So, again.
What are you talking about, dude?
You're asking. Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Switch the topic when I'm like.
Here's the thing. You're doing a pony and dance right now. And it's very frustrating to me because this is, one, what made me so frustrated trying to figure out if it was flat or not. Two, we're grown fucking men that aren't you're not having a conversation like this is a serious conversation.
Yeah, because the other guys,
y'all won't let it move forward.
Seek and find, please. No, stop. Seek and find. Because if I sit here right now and I explain again to you what happened, you will say, like you just did 10 minutes ago, oh, okay. Because I am explaining exactly what you keep saying I did. He said, Sean, I want a show me the mathematical equation that shows your gravity. I said, I can't. I don't know it. He has spent the last 25 minutes not giving that answer. He said he gave it. Look, here's the problem.
You want to talk about something else.
No, I don't. I'm telling you right. See, you're wrong again.
No, you can't answer
wrong. Here's the problem. Here is your problem with what you just said in the song and pony dance. You just said. You said we're trying to move on. F that. I have stopped this whole thing 5 times now because it is not going anywhere.
Yeah, no.
When people listen, because this is what's going to happen when someone listens to this live stream. They're going to hear the questions, and then they're going to keep hearing me go, stop. You are diverting from answering the question every time you've done it. So that's why I'm doing it. So it's very obvious, because a lot of times, in these conversations between globes and flat earthers, what ends up happening is the globers are so heated and trying to get their information to your ear, and you make these comments, and it just gets brushed right over. Not here. I'm sorry. I don't care. Put it this way. If we can't figure things out as a globe, then I will stop that shit too. But I will not allow you to do what you're doing right now. Because, again, I was a flat earther. It's not like I'm a glober who just thinks he knows flat earth. I literally believed it was flat. It wasn't a joke to me. I am irritated by it because when it came time for me to explain the evidence for flat earth to globers, I had nothing. And I had sat there for a year and a half. I had sat there for a year and a half listening my ass off, taking notes. I guarantee I have more notes than any of you guys combined.
What evidence do you need?
What are you talking about, man?
I'm talking about there's no evidence for flat earth. There's only you picking at the globe. And again,
the fact that you say that proves that you're lost because you have to concede that if we're not taught anything.
Okay, if you're saying that, then you have to concede you're not a flat earther right now. Say, I am not a flat earther.
Yeah, he's not.
No, that's a realization of it.
I totally agree with.
Yes,
I totally
Red.
agree.
No one cares about your opinion.
He's Paul.
Yeah, no. Here's the problem.
He's manipulating you.
No. He's not manipulating me. Not for shit.
He is.
No, I promise you he's not. Because this show has stopped based on that.
Sean, is that your handler? Who's talking? Is that that person?
Okay. This is what's going to happen right now. Hang on. Watch this. This is how I go. This is how I roll. Because you want to keep making it seem like you're controlling this conversation and you're not. Because I will point out every single thing you're doing. I had not seen you do this in a chat, so maybe that's why I didn't expect it. But you are seek and find. You need to understand this is the type of person that I don't want talking to you because he's not giving evidences. He runs around saying he knows everything, but won't explain it.
We know why you don't want to talk to us because we're ruining your religion, dude. Like,
Again, dude, I'm not religious at all. Again, the best part about the mind of God. The best part about this live stream is one, I don't edit. Two, everyone can watch this, and the reason again that I cut you off is because I'm not going to let this conversation go. I'm not going to let you divert because I know how to divert. I see it when you do it. I deal with snake oil salesmen on a daily basis over in Discord. It freaking radiates when you're doing it.
So you're not a flat earther no more because you couldn't come up with an equation? That's not
wait. Seek and find. If you're I'm going to tell you this right now, Seek and find. I really want you to sit back and think about what you just said because if you ask me that question again, I swear on everything, you will never be on my panel again. Because that is the same bullshit. Because that's listen. Because that is the exact same thing he just tried to do. Now, do you honestly hang on? Seek and find. Do you honestly believe one equation proves flat or not?
No.
Thank you. Okay, then we're good. Then, dude, we're good. But you need to understand what's happening right now. Stop. Seek and find. I need you to understand right now. And the reason I'm talking to Seek and find like this is because I do consider him a friend. And this is why I'm doing the show. Seek and find. Understand right now, this man has spent the last hour of my stream babbling and not giving anything about flat. Anything. Not one thing.
You're only labeling it babble because you know I'm getting at the real.
No. I'm labeling it babble because I've heard it, I've researched it, and I picked at those same holes. You gotta understand that.
What you're talking about.
Really? Really?
Well,
because I can tell you right now. I can tell you right now. I stop my conversations when I need to understand something. You have not explained anything, and I have said this 10 times now. So when people listen to this, they're gonna go, "Yeah, I hear him saying it. I hear him not answering it." There's no way possible that you honestly believe what you're saying.
I just told you. I know that gravity can't exist because two gravity forces.
Name two gravity forces. What are two gravity forces? That doesn't even exist.
There would be an infinite.
There are not two gravity forces. What are you talking about?
Why is that? Why do you talking slow like I'm talking?
Listen. What do you mean? There are not two gravity forces. There's gravity. Gravity is a force. There's not a second gravity force. So when you say the two gravity forces, what sense does that make?
What do you mean? There's gravity forces all around apparently, keeping things stuck to this ball.
Those are masses. Gravity is only one thing. Gravity is gravity. There's no such thing as two gravities. So do not say the two gravities. It doesn't even make sense.
All these forces that are out there keeping all these items stuck to ball Earth are not interacting mathematically.
Wait, why? What doesn't and how?
No, you tell me why they're not.
There you go. You made the accusation that it does not work. I think it works. So you explain how it doesn't work. You're the one who noticed. You're the one who figured out it doesn't work.
The only way
we're still waiting for his math.
Yeah,
still waiting.
Is if the forces are orthogonal, and there's no way that's possible. That's my point.
Okay, that's a good point. Now let's hear that math.
And I agree. Sean, your volume is kind of low.
Yeah, I don't.
For what it's worth, I can hear you.
Here's what it is, guys. I am honestly, I'm at that little point, and I didn't think it'd happen soon. So I'm going to go ahead and sit back because I actually got to figure out why the f my system keeps lagging out on me. So go ahead, please keep it respectful.
Did you turn it on and off again?
Well, the problem is I can't do that with the Hangout, and it's the Hangout that's doing it. It's not funny, Brenda. All right. Go ahead.
From a very funny show.
Yeah.
It's from a very funny show.
Again, but I want you to understand something, and I do this on purpose. The mind of God, you literally have not answered anything. You literally are diverting in front of my
I'm
face.
asking questions.
No, you're not. No.
I'm
You can ask all the questions you
explaining
want
why it's wrong.
after you've answered the question we've asked of
There
you.
is no question being posed to me. I'm asking.
Okay.
I'm
Again, I will do it again.
Actually,
I will do it again.
question
And this,
posed.
in the mind of God, this is the last time I'm going to do it. And if you do divert, I'm going to end this stream because I got to pee. I'm hungry, and I don't really care. It's nowhere
No, I
if you
know.
don't do this.
The flat
So
earth is
you
Sean.
said, Sean, give
You can
me
go for it.
your equation for how gravity is gravity, or showing it how gravity is real. I said, the mind of God. I can't. I'm not smart enough. And you said, well, if you can't give me the ball, I said, wait. I answered
What
it.
are you
I
talking
can't.
about? Are you drunk? What are you talking about?
Okay, all right, Sean. Okay,
He's summarizing.
May I?
Hey,
May
hang
I-
on. 1 second before.
Don't-
Hang on.
I
But
think
no, I'm not even going
this
to
is
say
a waste of
anything.
your time.
Is Sasha in the chat right now?
Definitely a waste of time. What are you talking about, dude?
He is deliberately wasting your time.
No, yeah. At this,
Why gravity is non-physical.
And he's
Brenda,
definitely
Red, go ahead and
Very,
talk to him
very,
because
very
yeah, he's got me at that point right now, and I'm gonna go take a piss.
Okay,
Okay.
go. Okay, dude, you're a Poe. I don't believe you're a flat earther. What I think is going on is, I think
Here,
you're a.
You don't
I
want your
think.
commentary on the world. or
I
whatever.
think.
No one
I
cares.
think you're a.
No one cares.
I think
I don't
you're-
care. I don't care. So no, whatever. If you want to talk about free body diagrams, we can.
No, I don't think you're a
He's an
flat earther.
engineering
That's
student.
fine.
He's an engineering student.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think you're doing this deliberately. You're using all the buzzwords. You're using them frequently. You're using far too ball earth. You're using far too frequently. You're trying to trigger people deliberately. I think that what you're doing is a sort of personal, maybe social experiment. I think in
Right,
probably
social
6
experiment.
months. I think in 6 months or so, and a year from now, you're going to put out some thesis or something. I think you're smarter than this. I think you spat out the gravity formula way too fast.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think you know this stuff.
Flat
I think you know
earthers
it
don't
very
know
well.
that.
I think
But
I don't know
I'm going to
that.
look you in the
Why
eye
don't
right
you
now.
explain
I'm
to
gonna
me
look you
then
in
what
the
I
eye
was
right
bringing
now.
up? Because
Listen
it's
to me.
clear that I'm getting to the point
Listen
that
to me.
gravity doesn't.
I'm going to look you in the eye right now, and I'm call you a liar. I think you're a
Who
liar.
cares? No
I
one
think you're
cares.
not a flat earther.
Why are you getting all emotional, dude? Like
I'm not.
what-
But I
Well,
think you're a liar.
The mind of God has
Who
a
cares?
weakness because he's
You're
able.
doing- you're doing
He
this
wasn't able to
deliberately.
direct.
No one cares about your
Conversation.
commentary.
It's
Why?
it's
Are y'all-
it's
are y'all
way
done?
too. This
I'm
this
I'm getting,
this
I'm getting
conversation.
very close to the weakness of gravity, and I can sense you guys are getting
You are
triggered.
not getting you.
He's hilarious. He's hilarious.
Dude, you're not very good at it. I spot
So
out
why-
like in the first 10
why
minutes
do-
of the
why these
conversation.
forces why do these forces remain independent to one another?
I saw you in the non
Give
the
me
non sequitur
commentary
show.
on that.
Okay,
No one
I-
cares that you saw me on non sequitur or whatever.
and I
that-
thought, yeah, this guy
cares?
is not serious.
Great. So
Um,
explain to me. Explain
He's
to
only
me why.
serious with
No.
the super
Forces.
chats.
I'm not
I mean, he
explaining
does the
anything.
super chats.
I'm not explaining
What
anything.
that's
did
the
not
Yeah,
sequiturs? What did Steve McRae think of him?
That's obvious. We know
he
that.
thinks he's a
you-
Poe.
My God,
Yeah.
it's obvious
Yeah.
that they're scared.
Steve
of
would
you,
pick
man.
up on that. I would
They're-
accept.
Hey,
they're
hang on.
scared of
Again,
you.
seek and find. Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Do me a favor.
They-
Do not associate with this guy. He is one of those guys that is
Yep.
muddying the water for you. I'm swear on everything.
Agreed.
I don't need anybody to muddy the water for me. I can
The,
do
the,
it on my own,
the,
you know.
the dripping, the constant, relentless dripping sarcasm, the ball earth.
No, the thing is,
Yeah.
seek and find.
No.
Do you remember how Dre
No,
might?
no,
Hey,
If you went on Nathan's, they'd eat it up, wouldn't they?
Your religion is falling apart.
Here we
dude.
go. There you go.
okay.
We're getting
Here's the
at
thing,
very-
guys. Here's the thing.
Talk to us more
The
about
the
our
mind of God.
religion.
Hey, the mind of God.
We're getting at the very
The mind of God.
understanding of this religion.
The mind of God. Here's what's going to happen because
Even
you're not going to give
Nathan's a Poe.
answers, and you're not going to. You're basically doing the runaround that I've done myself. We can do this again, but I'm not
Good
interested
luck.
in having a conversation with you unless it's in a debate
No.
forum and it's an evidence-based debate. Having this conversation with you is literally triggered me, and unfortunately I trigger easily, and I'll let you know. The problem I'm having is that
I love that-
the
love that I'm
only
happy
reason
with
that I am I'm happy about this conversation happening is, again, this is being recorded. You have not answered any questions, and the worst part is you just refuse to say you can't.
What are you talking about?
I know,
dude?
I know. You don't know what I'm
What?
talking about. You want to
can't
accuse
what?
me of being drunk, and you want to accuse me of not being able to do everything you want. Here's the problem. I don't drink. I don't drink. I know you're full of shit, and it pisses me off because I'm sure you talk to some of my friends, and they positively listen to your shit. This is the reason I do the show.
What do you mean?
You want to do that? Because I can literally do replays on my live stream. Do you want to go replays all your not answerings? I can do that. Would you like me to?
About 10 minutes.
Dude, the whole
No, stop. Would you like me to do that? Would you like me to replay this live stream so you can see where you purposely side-skirted answering stuff because you can't? Would you like me to do that?
Sure.
Okay, let's do that.
Thank you. Okay. Well,
Yes.
you know what? One thing I have learned is.
Well, no, who's talking? This is the conspiracy theorist. The narrative.
When we've had. Oh
my God! Dude.
When we've had conversations like this before, I learned a few things. I got triggered. I raised my voice, and then I learned. And I learned. Okay, and I learned to spot the trigger warnings for myself.
Great. Okay? All right.
Stop. Wait. Stop. Everyone allowed you to talk. Do not disrespect. Do not start disrespecting the people in my chat, please. Please.
Wait. But okay, here's the thing. Everything you're saying it appears to me to be deliberately designed to elicit a reaction. Okay? It appears to me to be that way. Saying Ball Earth and your religion and I'm getting close to the truth. You're not getting close to anything. You're not. No, but I'm not being triggered by it. I don't buy the story. I don't think you're being sincere. And now we're going to have to listen to 10 minutes of the same thing we just went through.
What about me? You think I'm being sincere?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. I respect you because we've got history now, so I respect your opinion. I can see where you're coming from.
All right. I was just asking. Just wondering.
Oh,
No,
we're good.
Is that the discussions are pretty much going into straw man, and then too much that we're being put into a subjective, the way how it's being presented. The presentation should be all somewhat in the middle, regardless of what shape we're in. So we can pretty much discuss the equations or the mathematics that we are looking at. So for example, if we do have gravitation for one side, we can accept that there is an equation that's already defined on the heliocentric model. So now we're at the stage, okay, we do have a person that is in another concept that wants to explain another another force. So we're here now with the mind of God, trying to give us an explanation, which is another definition, another name.
No, that's not where we were. I was talking about the non-physicality of gravity, and then we could move on to explaining it without it.
True.
You didn't get there.
But what you were doing is you were placing everybody subjectively, and you were strawmanning everybody. Meaning you're strawmanning everybody.
No, I wasn't. I was trying to get to the point where I was asking for the Ball Earth scholars to explain to me how gravity can occupy the same space and be independent.
Please stop the facade. Please.
Well, you don't know what
I'm not buying
the question instead of the narrative on my life.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it either.
The ball. I'm not buying it. I'm not.
So what I see is nobody's answering any questions. Y'all not answering questions. He's not giving you an equation. So the conversation is going nowhere.
Well,
y'all
waiting want it for him.
Y'all don't want it to go nowhere though.
Yeah.
I feel like y'all don't want it to go anywhere.
They don't.
That's how I feel.
7 times he basically said to us, "Do you agree with your model?" And we 7 times said yes.
When
never
is
came up
we,
with his model.
Seek and find. Seek and find. I will continue a conversation with you. I'm not doing it anymore with him. And I beg you, I'm telling, I will give anybody $100, $100, if anything I've said just now was wrong about him diverting and not answering shit. That's how clear I am about this. Seek and find. I'm telling you right now. Please do not back this guy. Please do not. He will make it so people won't hear you at all, because no one's hearing this guy right now.
Yeah, dude, we know that gravity's not real, and getting to the crux of it, and it's making it uncomfortable.
No, it's not. This thing you're doing is making me irritated, not uncomfortable.
The very first comment, you were given a wrench, and your very first comment was, nobody believes in the ball anymore. And my reply to you was only 7 billion people. So where is nobody believes in the ball anymore? Can you quantify that? Can you prove that?
If you were to ask pretty much everybody about, now that the debate's heating up, people are forced to learn about this ball earth madness, but most people don't know anything about.
Okay. Do you have any evidence for this ball earth madness?
It's almost insulting. It's insulting.
No, yeah, what you're doing is insulting.
I'm laughing because it is so funny. You're terrible at this.
People, the average student in high school, college, they won't know like the size of the Earth, the distance of the moon, the sun, the extent of our universe.
And here's the thing: you're right.
He's right.
You're 100% right, because I'm one of them. And so what happens is you talk to somebody who doesn't do research or hasn't looked at enough into the globe or understand it, and they hear that and they listen to it and they repeat it, and you make them look stupid because you have not answered anything. I honestly did not expect this from you.
What are you talking about? No question has been posed. I'm walking you through.
Okay.
Yes, there is a question.
This is going exactly how I
expect. Wait. Are you drunk? Because there's no way you can keep saying the things you're saying. Like,
no, but the whole sequence of events was me trying to explain gravity being non-physical, and then we can move on.
No, it's not.
No,
the whole thing was you giving your mathematical version.
And you know what? And guys, Red, I know you were about to say something about this. I want this to happen. I like this. This is why. This is exactly what I want. I want the people that sub to my channel that are flat earthers, which a majority of them are, to see and hear when this is happening for themselves. Seek and find. I don't know how you're not seeing this shit.
Yeah, Seek and Find knows that gravity's non-physical.
Okay, that has nothing to do with what I'm saying.
Yeah, we all know that gravity's not physical. It's not real. It's a joke.
No,
really.
Yeah, I was trying to explain it to you last hangout, Sean.
Okay, well, we can do that.
You wouldn't.
Seek and Find.
Listening to me either, which kind of got me.
No, because there's a difference. Yeah, because when I tell you, say, "Show me gravity." And I say I can show you the effects of gravity.
That's not what I Yeah, so what are the effects? Yeah.
I literally had a flat earther ask me for a photograph of gravity. I'm not kidding.
It's non-physical, not mathematical. It's not real.
What are the
photograph of gravity?
So do y'all all agree that like if you spin something, there's going to be an outward force that would like fling the water off, but gravity's like
and gravity and you remember that? Remember how I showed you that picture of that ball? Remember how it has those arches, those weird arches? That's gravity. That's gravity doing that. Otherwise, when you spun that ball, the water would take a straight angle, straight line, just straight beeline to wherever it's going. It would not have that.
I don't know why you like that.
Because I know how gravity works.
Sounds stupid, man.
Trigger.
I don't think the thing is, I don't even think you're stupid. I think you're doing this on purpose. That's the worst part.
This is premeditated. This is
premeditated.
I'm 100%.
There is a premeditated murder of the ball earth.
I think I'm right now. I'm 100% convinced that you are doing this. I don't know why you're doing it. I don't figure that out.
I don't think he's a Poe. Here's why.
Agree.
No, he's not a Poe. Listen, this is why. Because
Ball Earth is dead.
It's the same thing I explained about Debbie. Debbie.
Ball Earth is dead. Dude.
Well, see, here's the thing. So here it is. So Debbie also believes in that if flat Earth isn't, if it's not flat, her God is then gone. He's on a different reasoning. He's on a different reasoning than we are. This is one of those conversations I was saying about earlier that's not ever going to go anywhere.
I'm pretty sure the audience can see you guys dancing around, not wanting.
Oh no, that's the best part. That's the best part. They don't see us. They don't see me dancing around answers. They see me stopping because I've already made it clear. I don't know the equation. You said you did, and you won't say you don't. So I'm waiting for this answer, and you won't give it.
Answer for what?
Exactly. Yep. See. Gosh. Ask me for what again? I dare you. I fucking dare you.
After gravity thing is handled, we can go on to how to explain it.
I'm thinking of that scene from Pulp Fiction. Say what? Say what, motherfucker? Say what?
One more motherfucking time.
That is a fucking great scene. Oh my god.
Hey, and don't doubt me. I do have a bunch of Samuel L. Jackson quotes in my fucking clips.
No, this is fun.
at this point, the mind of God again. I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't know how if you know how YouTube works, but this is recorded. So every time you go, because we're killing the globe, or because you won't answer, like every time you said that, I purposely said, go back and look, because you did this, this, and this. Every time you diverted from the question, I brought it back. Those type of things were the things I wish other flat earthers or globers had done in their chats with flat earthers in the past. The problem you have is I'm not some dumb glober. Alright, so hey guys, hang on guys. Again, my computer, hang on, my computer went down again. So guys, I don't.
That possible? No, look, this is not discomfort. This is not discomfort. This is noticeable discomfort. This is about 6 months. It's about September.
God damn it. Alright, so check this out, guys. My system keeps going down. Give me a second. Fuck. Let me see. I gotta make a new hangout. That call just ended. I'm gonna show you guys. Because I know your boy will definitely love to say, oh shit, you guys can see the hangout right there. I don't know what the hell my system's doing this for. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm done talking to this guy. This is exactly why I left Flat Earth. What happens is I realized in these debates, these arguments I'm having with Globers at the time, I need to have something. These guys are like, what I don't get is why these things aren't pointed out more. Or why isn't the conversation just stopped? Hey, you're full of shit. I tried to do it at every time, but I realized he was doing it, and I'm going to continue to do that. The only real thing, I mean, if you're a flat earther at this point, understand that if I sound angry, I am. I'm livid. Here's why. I get that a lot of Globers will talk out their asses and try to give you answers that are, again, I believe just too much if you don't understand it, or too much if that's not where the conversation needs to be. But the blatant disrespect of telling me I'm drunk or what am I talking about over and over again is a clear sign of how full of shit somebody is. That's why I stopped the conversation repeatedly and said, again, to answer your question, no, I can't do the equation. Now, can you do the equation that shows gravity doesn't exist? Then he said, yes. Numerous times I gave him the option to say no. If you don't know it, say it. He said he knew it. The only equation, I heard 2 equations out of his mouth. I'm sorry, 3 equations out of his mouth. That was the heliocentric version, which is what we know it to be, which we did not need him to tell us clearly because we know it. We were just got done doing it. I see you out there, Cynic. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm going live tomorrow because I got a good rant going for tomorrow. But I'm going to tell you right now, again, that's as blatant as it gets. Those are the flat earthers that have to worry. Those are the flat earthers that have made the worst mistake of their lives in that. Unlike, most of you guys here, you guys that weren't flat earth, you're trying too hard. It's not about proving the globe to them. Because if they're not willing to understand it, then what are you doing? I know for a fact who now I can talk to when I talk to them. Seek and Find, I think I think his not knowing and not wanting it to be a globe is where he's at. Because I know for a fact, unlike the Mind of God did, Seek and Find has conceded to the fact that things are the way they are. Certain things. That's all I care about. I get, Seek and Find, that you believe it's flat earth. My brother, I swear to you, it does not, there's no, respect is not taken away at all for you, my friend. The problem, what I was trying to say is, how it went, he asked me for this equation, blah, 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 and then I asked him, and then you said, well, why you got to bring 3 equations? I get you feel you need to back flat earthers because you're flat earth. But there's something I learned when I was a flat earther. That will get you in trouble. Because I didn't feel the same way about how flat earth worked at the time, that's why I got into it with other flat earthers. Because I went, hey, wait. Now, Seek and Find, once you figure out that you can only nitpick one thing at a time, or you can discredit one thing at a time, you're not showing how that evidence debunks the globe at all. So you ask good questions. You have conceded to certain things. You believe it's flat. But name one time you've been on my stream where you didn't answer a damn thing or be honest enough to go, all I need is answers right now. That's what I'd like. Because you honestly asked me, and I had no problem explaining anything to anybody about my decision at all. 1,000 times over. I don't regret it at all. I'm happy I did it. I'm happy I now know how to spot out these snake oil salesmen. Seek and Find is not one. The Mind of God is a snake oil salesman. He's almost as bad as Chemo Spurs. Almost. I would love to have a debate with him. The problem is it will end up like this. And it happened with me. The Mind of God, you need to understand something, sir. I literally am probably the only glober who gives a shit to respect anybody. So if you trigger me on that scale, it's a very instant red flag to a lot of people. Again, like I said, most of my subscribers are flat earthers. And believe it or not, people, I get messages after a lot of people talk here, and it's like, whoa, I had no idea how full of shit someone was. Mind of God, you are now one of those people. And get it, it's not because you didn't answer things, it's because you blatantly didn't answer truthfully. I know you have no clue of gravity. You have no clue to debunk it. You don't know enough. How do I know? Twice tonight, you said 2 gravities. There's not a scientist. There's not a undergrad. There's not a high school kid. There's not even a middle school or an elementary school child who believes anything about 2 gravities or would ever say 2 gravities. And that's just the only thing you said that made it very clear you don't know. Just say you don't know. Your job is not to sound prolific. Your job is not to prove anything. What the fuck? You're in a bad spot, mind of God, and here's why. You have to believe in flat Earth. You don't even give yourself a choice. You blatantly said it right off the gate. You will never be a glober again. You will always be flat Earth, even if you go to space and see the ball. Why? Because, and I respect the fact that you believe in a God. I cannot respect the fact that you base your God on a shape. On a shape. If your God is real, the mind of God, he's real on a globe or a flat Earth. Your God isn't a newspaper. You read it and then throw it away. It doesn't work that way. Because when you do become a glober again, the mind of God, I don't want you to I don't want you to suddenly not believe in a God. I think God is good for a lot of people. Not me, not for others. But if you believe in a God and it makes you a better person, more power to you. But don't muddy the water for the other ones that believe in God. And their lives are great because of it. I guarantee you, the mind of God, there is not one person who lives by the Bible and is a good person who believes anything would disprove their God. That's how I know. That was your biggest mistake. Saying, if it's flat, there's a God. If it's a ball, there's no God. You have already put yourself in a bad spot. You just told your God publicly there's a chance he doesn't exist. The problem with your speech is you're not a flat earther. I've explained this to everyone already. Ready? You have no evidence for flat earth. All you're doing is picking at the globe, which therefore makes you a globe denier. The mind of God. I get you talk to a lot of stupid people. And when I say stupid, I mean assholes. Maybe you should ask somebody some research. I don't know. Maybe listen to a couple of my streams before you came on. But I'm not that guy. I'm here to figure shit out, not play shit out. You wanted to use this religion kick like it would be the cripple of my whole argument. The problem you have is just because I don't believe in a creator doesn't mean I don't think that creator could exist, because I don't know. No one knows. That's one of those things I can say. I don't believe there's a God, but hey, guess what? I don't know. But you to say you won't have a God if it's a globe? Man, please don't say that. And I say that because what happens if there isn't? What happens if it is a globe? The mind of God? Do you have to explain to your God that he no longer exists? Well, your brain all of a sudden just stopped believing in a God. That's why you can't make these arguments anymore. You're too vested in something. You have to believe it's flat. Because if it's not, you say your God doesn't exist. You need to step back from the shape of this earth and really look into whether or not you believe in a God, for one, and if your justification for that belief is a good one. Because, like I said, I've said that before. I've told people this person will be a flat earth forever because the whole God situation. I honestly have never heard in my life someone say, then God does not exist. That's supposed to be this righteous believer. Never. That in itself, the mind of God, is why you lost this discussion. It's not even a debate. This discussion, it wasn't a win for you, buddy. In your first 30 seconds, you lost. The first 30 seconds, you proved how unsure you are. Guys, tired. Obviously, I'm a little frustrated. So this was gonna happen. Let's see if I'm still going because I just crashed again. Looking at my handy dandy phone. So this was all right. There we go. Let's see if I'm still. Okay, so you guys hear me. All right, so like I said, my it's actually Google Chrome that is not responding at the moment. But what I pretty much said it all, right, guys? I don't really need to continue on anymore. I felt it was a really good rant. I'm looking in the chat. Okay, but yeah, guys, I'm done. I'm done giving this guy a face, a name, a voice. I honestly don't know what to say about it. See, the mind of God. I suggest you go back and re-examine this conversation you've had because it's not like the ones you've had before. I don't overlook the bullshit because I see it. I've done it. I want answers. I wanted answers to the flat earther. I didn't get them. Seek and find. That's why. The day you can give me some evidence for flat earth, not denial of globe, evidence for a flat earth, that will be the day a flat earther will be. But until then, you're all just globe deniers. And there's nothing wrong with that. The issue is how convinced you are of it being flat without evidence. And you can't say I didn't do my research. You can't say I'm a sheep following the masters. Blah blah. You can't. Why? Because for 2 years I tried to prove an alternative, and I couldn't because I didn't have enough evidence. I didn't have evidence at all. I had globe denials, phenomenons. I know all of them now. I can nitpick the crap out of the globe right now. Doesn't disprove it though. Guys, I'm tired. I'm actually starting to calm down now. I think I'm gonna go smoke, relax. I'll probably see some of you guys over at the debate Flat Earth and More Discord server. I'm going live tomorrow. This is now what I'm gonna be doing. I'll have regular conversations, and I'm gonna do my geoengineering shit more because I am really getting sick of this situation happening. Unless I can actually have a decent conversation with a human being that doesn't feel the need to put on a dog and pony show. But again, I don't care how hectic it sounds. I don't care how short my streams are. I'll stop it to a dead halt and point out what you're doing. Because again, I'm a grown fucking man, and the last thing that's going to continue to happen is the disrespect of talking to me like I'm 5. All I gotta say, if you're pushing bullshit, I'm coming.
But my legs heavy, I don't get it. How come I haven't hit it already? Still working, I'm still learning, I'm still searching, finally earning something, finally turning something called a profit. If I hear you talking shit, don't get caught in it. I'll be popping off and hit your ass, dropping all your shit. Yeah, I promise this, I got promises. You ain't stopping this, cross my shit, you'll be knocked unconscious, bitch. That's the consequence, I got this, I will not quit. Man, I'm on it, honest. I'm gonna launch quick, then I'm gone. It's just a matter of time before I'm over the climb and moving under my prime. Just quit my 9 to 5, I'm rocking, and they watching, cause it's shocking. Dropping all these top 10 songs, so stopping. It's time to live my life, it's time to live, not die. Wish I could slow down time and just enjoy the climb.